Okay, in this short video tutorial, I'm going to show two preferences that I recommend turning on before you get started in a Toonboom Harmony project. So the first is you see this red bracket that's going around my timeline right here. So what this bracket is saying is whenever I press a shortcut, it's going to be the shortcut that's associated with this panel. But if I want to, for instance, do something with my canvas space, I have to click on it in order to get that red bracket over there. And so the first setting that I like to enable just makes it so that that bracket, that red bracket, automatically moves to whichever panel that I'm hovering my cursor over at that given moment. So to change that setting, you go to Harmony Premium and then Preferences right here. And then we have these different tabs up here. And under General, we're going to go over here to Focus on Mouse Enter. So I'll click on that, and then you need to press OK in order for it to save our changes right there. So I'll press OK. And so now you can see this red bracket updates depending on which panel I'm hovering my cursor over. And an example where this might be useful is the buttons 1 and 2 are both shortcuts to zoom in on the canvas and on the timeline. So if I'm hovering my cursor over the canvas, I can press 2 to zoom in, 1 to zoom out, and one other little trick here is if you press Shift and M, it'll kind of punch out to the main canvas. But then if I hover my cursor over the timeline, 2 to zoom in, 1 to zoom out right there. So that's just one example right there. So that's one that I recommend that everybody do. And so the second one is a little more optional. So in each drawing layer right here, we have by default a line art layer and then a color art layer, right? So you create your line art on this line art layer right here, and then you kind of use this button to copy it down to the color art layer right there. And so within each drawing layer, we have these two layers to operate on. And it's really helpful for like coloring in your work and all that. And so some people, myself included, like to give ourselves 4 art layers to work on within each drawing layer. And so in order to do that, you go to Harmony Premium and then Preferences. And then instead of General, we're going to go over to the Advanced tab, Support, Overlay and Underlay Art Layers, press OK. And so now we have these 4 layers right here. And so one example where this might be useful is, for instance, like I mainly use the overlay art layer. And so an example where that might be useful is if you're working on a character like this, let's zoom in some, where you have the line art on the line art layer, the color art on the color art layer, but then maybe for something like these specular highlights in the eye where you want it to go above your line work, you can have stuff like that included on your overlay art layer and have that all contained within the same drawing layer in your project. So that's entirely optional. It just kind of depends on your project and your style. And yeah, that's up to you.